You want to start an LLC in Washington, but the last thing that you need is to waste time, screw up the forms, or accidentally expose your home address. So this video breaks it all down step by step from your business name to your registered agent so that you can launch with confidence and skip the stress. And a quick warning before we begin. So if you start an LLC in Washington without knowing one tiny detail, your address could end up on public record, exposing your privacy to anyone with an internet connection. But more on that here shortly. But first, if you're watching this, you're probably wondering if Washington is actually worth it for your LLC. And honestly, the state makes a pretty strong case for it. One big perk is that there's no state tax on personal income. So when your LLC makes money, you get to keep more of it at the end of the year. And Washington also has a thriving community of entrepreneurs and a friendly business climate. Plus, you get access to over 50 different business incentive programs designed to spur growth. An LLC here also shields your personal assets from any business troubles, so you won't lose your car or savings if things don't go as planned. So if you want flexibility, privacy, and a business scene that's really welcoming for first-timers and pros alike, Washington deserves a serious look. But don't rush in, as there's a crucial first step, and most people don't realize how easy it is to get tripped up. So let's dive into how to pick a business name that actually gets approved and keeps your LLC moving forward. But before we do jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind throughout this. So starting your business, it should be exciting, not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get confusing fast with all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way in the video, just go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. All right, so back to the name here. So here's the first curveball that most new LLC owners face. If you skip Washington's naming rules, expect to hit a wall fast. So for your LLC name to fly, it must end with Limited Liability Company, Limited Liability Co., LLC or LLC. And don't try to get creative by dropping these because the state, they won't approve it. But the real catch, your name has to be totally unique compared to every other business in Washington. You can't just make a minor tweak like, swapping, Coffee Spot LLC for Coffee Spots LLC. If your idea is close to one that's already taken, you'll have to go back to the drawing board. So before printing business cards, it really does pay to use the official Washington business name search, which is linked to below, along with every other resource included in this video to see if your idea is already taken by another business. Also, some words, well, they are off limits. So you can't use corporation, incorporated, cooperative, partnership, or abbreviations like Corp, Inc., or Ltd, unless you're authorized. And steer clear of banking or government words like bank, trust, FBI, things like that, unless you're fully licensed. Now, getting your business name locked down is the key to moving forward, so take a little extra time here. Now, up next, we'll discuss how to pick a registered agent and why skipping this one step could mess up way more than your mail. So this is a spot where a lot of new business owners, they get tripped up. But don't worry, it's easier than it sounds once you actually know what's at stake. So every Washington LLC must have a registered agent with a physical address in the state, not just a PO box. This agent will be your legal lifeline, right? Receiving official documents and government notices so that nothing gets lost or delayed. Now, if you miss a lawsuit notice or a tax letter, the costs and the headaches can pile up fast. Now, you can legally be your own agent if you're over 18 and keep regular business hours at a Washington location. It saves a little cash, but here's a downside. Your address becomes public record. So opening you up to, unsolicited mail and your privacy is gone. That's why I personally recommend skipping the home address and hiring a professional service like, specifically, Northwest Registered Agent, which I've used myself. They're known for their strong privacy protections and fantastic customer service. And if you hire them to form your LLC, it'll cost you just $39 for their help. On top of that, you can use their business address for your public filings, which keeps your personal info off the record and puts a stop to all that junk mail and all the privacy issues that'll happen. So you can check them out right up here if your privacy really matters to you. Now, picking the right registered agent sets your business up to run smoothly. So let's keep the momentum going. So next, we'll walk through the one form that officially unlocks your LLC's existence in Washington. Now, this is the moment where your business goes from just an idea to officially recognized by the state. Filing your articles of organization, which is sometimes called your certificate of formation, is what actually creates your LLC in Washington. You'll need to share details like your LLC's name, your registered agent's contact info, business address, and whether you want your company to last indefinitely or only for a set period. Washington makes this process pretty straightforward. You can file online for $200, and the form is usually processed in about 2 to 5 business days. You can also mail it in, and you'll pay $180 and have to wait up to 4 to 6 weeks. Now, the overwhelming majority of folks, they file online to keep things moving quickly, but no matter how you file, details matter. Filling out each box accurately means less chance of hitting a speed bump later. If you've already hired a professional formation service, they can actually handle this entire step for you, ensuring that your paperwork checks every box and lands right where it needs to go. But once you get the confirmation, you're officially a Washington LLC owner. Now, the next step, many folks mistakenly skip, which is creating an operating agreement. And you'll want to stick around on this one because it can really save your business and your sanity down the road. So to be clear, you're not required to file an operating agreement with the state, but it does lock in how your LLC runs, who owns what, how profits are split, and what happens if there's ever a disagreement with your partners so that you can control the rules, not the government's, one-size-fits-all system. This document becomes your business playbook, right? So as an example, let's say that you're splitting ownership with a friend, or you want proof that your business is real when opening a business bank account. An operating agreement is what banks and sometimes future partners will want to see. Even sole LLCs, they benefit from having one on file as it shows that you have really thought through the details and protects your limited liability status. So keep it brief, get everyone to sign it, and store a copy for your own records. If you're thinking, do I really need this? Well, just remember, it can literally save you a ton of headaches and legal messes down the road. So what's next from here? Well, now you'll need an EIN, which is a must-have for taxes, banking, and hiring. And stick around because getting one, it's actually way simpler than most people think. All right, ready for another step that sounds intimidating but takes less time than scrolling through social media? Well, grab your EIN for free straight from the IRS website. It's basically like a social security number for your business, and almost every LLC needs one for taxes, opening a bank account, or hiring employees. Now, the online application, it takes really about 10 to 15 minutes, and your number is issued instantly. There's no waiting around or frustrating paperwork either. Even if you're a single member LLC and technically not required to get an EIN, most banks will ask for it when you open a business bank account, and it's just smart to keep your personal details off business documents. So grab this number before moving on. So next up, let's talk about keeping your business legit every year because skipping compliance requirements, they can shut things down really, really fast. Don't let your new LLC slip out of good standing by missing a few essential steps. Compliance in Washington is straightforward, but skipping an obligation can take your business offline fast. Every Washington LLC must file an annual report with the Secretary of State due by the end of your anniversary month each year, and it costs $60 to file online. Now, this report, it updates basic company info, and it also confirms your registered agent. And if you forget, well, you risk late fees and could even lose your LLC status. Now, there's also one more layer. So Washington, they require a statewide business license, plus possible local city or specialty licenses. Now, the main state license is issued by the Department of Revenue and planned for $90 up front and about $10 to $25 to renew each year. And if your business operates in a specific city, just check for additional requirements because many cities, they partner with the state for streamlined licensing, but some do require a separate application. Now, on the tax side, while Washington doesn't have a personal or corporate income tax, it does have business and occupation tax and sales tax, which may apply depending on what you actually do and sell. But stay diligent, keep up with your filings, and you'll avoid most hassles. Now, next, we'll examine how much you'll actually pay to set up and run an LLC here, broken down in simpler numbers. All right, so let's break down exactly what you'll pay to launch and run your Washington LLC so that you can skip surprises and budget right from day one. So startup costs. So your certificate of formation, online filing, that's required $200 one time. Then you have your state business license, that's required $90 one time. Your city business licenses usually required, most cities, they average about $50 for the initial application. Just check your local requirements for that. Then we have a registered agent service that's optional but highly recommended. $39 for the first year if you go with Northwest Registered Agent. And then we have a trade name or a DBA. That's optional. $5 if you want another name. So first year costs probably between $300 to $500 if you use a professional service and include registration and required licenses, but not specialty permits or insurance. All right, so ongoing costs. So your annual report, that's $60 per year. Your registered agent renewal, that's $125 per year if you use Northwest Registered Agent to stay compliant. Then your city license renewal, that's typically $50 per year, but it varies by location. State business license renewal, $10 to $25 per year roughly. Additional specialty licenses and taxes really depend on your industry, but your yearly maintenance costs probably about $110 to $200 depending on your licensing needs. Now again, to help with this entire process, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or you're a little bit confused about the process, no problem. Just drop me a comment below and I'll do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching the video and I will see you in the next one.